Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I just wanted to make this video really quick to share my excitement for today's announcement of XCOM 2, the sequel to the amazing, super fun XCOM Enemy Unknown by Firaxis Games. Oh my gosh, it was... I never played the original XCOM, but this was... Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within are some of my favorite games of all time, and I'm so excited that they are making an XCOM 2. I'm also very glad that I built a PC this past summer so that I will actually be able to play this game, because it is PC exclusive. This news comes from IGN, who's doing one of their IGN Firsts with Firaxis. IGN First is where it's like they have exclusive news with games for like a month, and they showcase it and do all this stuff. So I'm going to be over there looking at all the new news. But today, we're going to be looking at the new trailer that just came out, and I will be sharing with you some of my theories as to what the trailer may be hinting about to both the story and the gameplay. So let the little presentation begin. I won't be like having the video because I'm stupid. I don't know how to do that. But I will be sharing pretty screenshots. All right, first we get this cool techno-looking city that honestly kind of looks like it's out of the new SimCity game. If you have like one of those sort of like cool cities, I don't know. But the very interesting thing is that we get a year, 2035, 20 years after unification. This is 20 years after the beginning of Enemy Unknown. And I'm here thinking, wait a minute, we won. Why is there an XCOM game? But we won. We defeated the Uber Ethereal, right? Yeah, we get some more shots of the city here. We get the Advent Corporation. We get like what? And according to the story, it's like the aliens like took over. But how? We won. We beat the Uber Ethereal. What's going on? I've got two theories for you. Number one, which is possibly the more interesting version, and these are both assuming that this is a sequel to Enemy Unknown. Theory one: this game XCOM 2 is going off the assumption that you lost Enemy Unknown and that the aliens did take over. But instead of just laying waste to humanity and just, assimilating them into their army, the aliens realized, hey, the humans have psychic powers. We can use that. So we will more peacefully subdue the human population and use them to whatever our nefarious alien ends may be. That's one possibility. Second possibility, if it's going off the assumption that you won XCOM Enemy Unknown, that there might have been more than one temple ship out there in space. That's a possibility. That the temple ship that invaded Earth was only one, and that there's another temple ship that has arrived and has started to, take over the planet, but by a more peaceful, more insidious means. And I also have a theory that like the second temple ship came to Earth, and Exalt got in contact with them first. And I know what you guys are thinking, hey, we defeated Exalt and Enemy Within, but all I'm going to say is the chair was empty, guys. The chair was empty. So, if Exalt's leader still existed, he made contact with the second temple ship and was like, yo guys, it's cool that you're here, but the last temple ship that showed up got its butt kicked, and it's probably not a good idea for you to just sort of like drop your pods and start violently abducting everybody. Let me help you with that. We can help you with this. That's kind of why if you look at the human Advent soldiers, they kind of have there's a lot of red in there. It gives off a very exalty vibe to me. Second, as we go through the city, we keep hearing about these gene therapy clinics. Well, we hear about one in Paris, and we are here in New Providence, and there's another gene therapy clinic. Not entirely sure what's up with that. It's probably like, hey, the aliens will enhance your genes and make you live longer, and stuff. Yeah, but what they're really doing is just using the humans. Say, instead of abducting humans, they're saying, hey, come on and join our gene therapy clinic, where we will then dissect you and use your brain meat to enhance our alien troopers. It also, if you listen to the audio, it mentions refugees. Like refugees are apparently pouring into this city, which is very interesting. Which, if you think about it, in Enemy Unknown, a lot of human cities got busted up and destroyed and stuff, with the abductions and the terror missions. So maybe there are a lot of refugees, but still, this is 20 years later. This is 20 years later. Are there still refugees 20 years later? I mean, I guess it's possible, but it also opens up the possibility that maybe there was a second invasion that XCOM lost. So maybe there was another big, a big bombastic invasion that, XCOM ended up losing after the first one by whatever means. So all throughout this, all throughout these city shots, we keep seeing these troopers, these XCOM soldiers sneaking through the city. And it's also mentioned in the article on IGN.com, which I will link to in the description, that there's going to be like a lot of stealth tactics focused into this game. And I'm going to put up another screenshot now that is from IGN.com. You got this guy with a shotgun peeking around a corner, looking at some Advent troopers. And if this was Enemy Unknown, those soldiers, if you get to a corner and you peek around it and you spot an enemy, that's it. Battle's begun. But it definitely seems like they're introducing this stealth mechanic where if you're hidden maybe behind cover or behind, behind a corner, you can peek out without revealing yourself. There's I'm sure, I assume that's the possibility, which is really cool. Next, as we go through the city, bam, there they are. The four-legged. The four-armed bastards are back. The Ethereals. They're still kicking, they're still around, and they're still trying to harvest human brains for their experiments, and it's got to stop. Alright, now we've got a sweet shot of our squad. If you notice, it's only four people, just like Enemy Unknown, small 4-man squads, which didn't really make sense in Enemy Unknown, which is why I enjoy the Long War mod so much. It's like, hey, if we're going to assault aliens, we're not just going to send 4 people to assault this crashed UFO. We're going to take, maybe a battalion. At least 6 or 8 guys is what we're going to be taking. If XCOM 2 is more stealth-based and more smaller scale guerrilla warfare, then a squad of 4 makes sense. And we got a little drone. So let's check out the squad. We've got what looks like our heavy special from left to right. Let's go left to right. From left to right, we have our heavy weapons class guy, it appears. He's got a big old grenade launcher. Beware of where you point that thing. Hopefully that will be more effective at shooting grenades than just throwing the grenades from XCOM 1. Then we got this guy with an assault rifle and a hood. Don't know why he has a hood. Then we've got our assault, it appears, with a shotgun. Heck yeah, assault for the win, run and gun. Where's your cover now? And then on the right, we've got who looks like the squad leader. We got this gal with a sniper rifle. Snipers are also like my second favorite class. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. My second favorite class is medic after assault, and then sniper. And we also have a little drone friend. They have a little drone friend. Everybody has drone friends now. It's the way of the future. The drone will be very important later though as we go, and we see these guys advancing. They're walking up, and we see the soldiers still have their flags on the back of their armor, so they're still representing their countries. So not all of Earth, it seems, has fallen to these Advent troopers, Advent organization, to aliens. If you look back at the shot of the squad, you can see they don't have the plasma weapons that XCOM had at the end of Enemy Unknown. Again, assuming this is continuing on from the story of Enemy Unknown, what happened to them. So what it seems later when she fires the gun, it definitely looks like a laser gun. Bam, yeah, you see that big red burst from her gun. I don't think it's a railgun. I think it's a laser. I think it's very possible that laser is the type of weapon that you just start out with, because it is 20 years later. Who uses ballistics anymore? Nobody. Oh gosh, Snake Man. For those of you who who maybe only played the first one and didn't sort of... Well, I didn't play... I should say, for those of you who only played Enemy Unknown and or don't know about the older games, the Snake Man is an enemy from the original game, one of many enemies. The original game has lots of enemies. And if you look right here at this shot, Snake Man ain't screwing around. Snake Man is out to kill these XCOM intruders. As we see, we get as the drone flies up, we get this shot. It does appear that all the Advent troopers have laser weapons. Or, here's going to be an interesting question. Are those laser weapons, or that looks a lot like the Reaper rounds from Enemy Within that you could, I think if you did experimental warfare, you could get Reaper rounds, which would give you increased critical chance on your ballistic weapons. So maybe they are using like Gauss or railguns or something instead of just straight up lasers. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Now, very interesting here. Here's one of my big theories. The drone flies up and he stuns the trooper. He like shoots out this shock blast and he stuns the trooper, the Advent trooper. Now, this obviously means non-lethal options, and it's part of my theory that you're going to start this new game with not many countries on your side, and if you want to get more countries on your side, you're going to want to sort of sway public opinion positively towards you, and if you're just blowing up and eviscerating as many humans, obviously kill the aliens, but if you're just killing if you're also just eviscerating all the humans along with the aliens, people are like, oh man, they're just violent terrorists. People are going to just think you're just like Exalt, you know? But if you're, stunning humans and leaving as many humans alive as possible, it might get people thinking, hey, maybe XCOM isn't an evil terrorist organization, and they're actually right about the aliens being evil, you know? Also, Snake Man's got moves. Snake Man, you do not want to mess with Snake Man on the dance floor. You do not. Snake Man will beat anybody on the dance floor. Ugh. Poor Salt. He's got him. And here we see the grenade launcher in action. Hopefully that means more destructible environments. Another fascinating note, if you read the IGN article, they said that the maps, or maybe some of the maps, or all of the maps, would be procedurally generated, which is insane, which means this game will have, like, endless replay value. And next, Sectoid has been working out. Holy crap, he got buff, in a way, well, compared to the old Sectoids. Alright, now, here are my two theories about what these new Sectoids are, because in the IGN article, they did confirm that these are the new Sectoids. And my theory as to why they're so much bigger is either the Ethereals took the human DNA and sort of melded it with the Sectoid DNA to create just a physically more imposing Sectoid. Because if you remember from the Temple Ship mission, when you get to the Sectoids, the Uber Ethereal comments that, yes, the Sectoids were psychically gifted, but physically they were just too weak. So there's that. And then the second theory is that they are just straight up humans who have been experimented on and turned into these freakish gray monsters, and that's why they have mouths and creepy, choppy teeth that look like they exist only to rip the throats out of your squad members. But before they even get that chance, they have to deal with the most epic weapon that humanity has ever invented, and that is the sword. Ladies and gentlemen, swords in XCOM 2. That's how you know we're not messing around anymore, is that we are bringing swords to an alien fight. Oh boy. This was the moment when I watched that trailer that I legitimately gasped with surprise and joy. I was like, swords! Because swords are awesome. Swords are awesome. Alright, next we're going to go to this shot. The squad has seems to have completed their mission, whatever it may have been, and they are convening for pickup from the Sky Ranger, and the Sky Ranger looks cool and all, but you see the Heavy has the Assault slung over his shoulder. Now, is the Assault dead? Was he killed by the Snake Man? Or is he merely incapacitated, and he is bringing him back? Because it's possible. I'm guessing that because they say guerrilla tactics, stealth tactics, it's going to be hit and run, and most of the time your objective is not going to be to kill all the enemies, but to go into a map, complete the objective, and then retreat. Now, this would have been more difficult in Enemy Unknown, because if a soldier gets killed, or if he gets shot, if he loses his HP and he starts bleeding out, and you stabilize him, you have to win the mission. You can't, if you guys watch Beagle Rush, he's a big XCOM streamer, he always wishes that, if a soldier gets bled out and gets stabilized, he wishes that there was a mechanic where it's you could have one soldier, carry the incapacitated soldier to the evac point so you could get them out of there. Because if you just evac and there's still an incapacitated soldier, then they're considered missing in action and you lose them and they die. But this could be an indication of just a more complex system of death and incapacitation and all that, and possibly objectives that don't involve, killing all the enemies, which would be very interesting. Sky Ranger Mark II. For the final part, we have what looks like, it's going to be a desert base. It's, hidden, perhaps the old XCOM base is hidden underground. But no. Like the rest of us, the developers over at Firaxis, they saw Avengers, and they saw that helicarrier, and they thought to themselves, what if XCOM was a mobile helicarrier? And everybody agreed, yes, that would be awesome. Now here's the interesting part, because you still see people on the cliff, and they seem to just be going about their business. So maybe it's going to incorporate the multiple base mechanic from the original game back in the 90s, I believe, the very, very first one, where you would have multiple bases and multiple Sky Rangers, and you could deploy multiple squads. So maybe they'll work a bit of that into there, where you'll have the Sky Ranger, and the Sky Ranger will have all your engineering bays and your laboratories and your workshops and your mech bays and your gene labs and everything else that was in your base in the Enemy Unknown. But, your base will run out of fuel and food, and you have to stop at these mini bases you've set up to sort of resupply. And those bases can be, or not bases, those sort of outposts could potentially be discovered and invaded by enemies. And maybe it's if it gets discovered, you lose that base, but you still have to go and defend it to maybe, protect certain personnel, so that you lose that base, but you can still save some of the resources that were in that base. So lots of potential new mechanics there. That's what I'm thinking. So so excited for this game. I am so glad. I was disappointed when Firaxicon came and went and they didn't announce anything new. I was like, this is their first convention. They've got to make a big announcement. But now I'm glad that they've kind of waited just now 6 months before the game's release. So now I don't have to wait in pain for a year. I only have to wait in pain for 6 months before this game comes out. If I have any other additional theories, I will make additional videos as information comes out in the coming month on IGN with their IGN First. So exciting. If you liked this video, please like it and comment on it. Let me know what you think about my theories, because I love discussing theories with other people, because other people are the best. They're only, swords are second only to people. Just trying to be honest. I love you guys. And have a wonderful evening.